Hey, what's up everyone? Today, I have a pretty interesting story to tell you. It's a story of war, heroism, and most importantly, money. Lots and lots of money. So in order to understand how Technoblade almost made me 1,000,000,000 coins, we need to go back about a week and a half. This was when Dante was first elected to be in office, and you could go to the dark auction and vote for who you wanted the resistance leader to be. And who would the general Skyblock populace vote to be their resistance leader? None other than Technoblade himself. Some were skeptical Technoblade would return to help us with the revolution, but I thought otherwise. So I decided to make my move. Ladies and gentlemen, the admins have done it. You can now vote any player to be the resistance leader, and you'll never believe who's probably going to win. I give it a 99.99% chance that Technoblade himself is going to win. You know how I know this? I've been recording for 26 seconds, and he's already 100 votes more than he was before. Like any reasonable Skyblock tryhard, I wondered to myself, how could I use this to my advantage? Why is Technoblade so popular in the Skyblock community? If you said anything but potatoes, you're wrong. It's potatoes. And most importantly, what is Technoblade? He's a pig. Because I think the admins are going to create new items related to Technoblade, which are going to involve potatoes and pork chops, because Technoblade, I'm going to invest in, you guessed it, potatoes and pork chops. So I'll throw 350 million coins into potatoes and 150 million coins into pork, just because I feel like potatoes would have a greater chance of being used for something. Welcome back to the present. The clip you just saw was me about 2 weeks ago deciding what items I wanted to purchase and how many I wanted to buy. And just a couple of days later, I had, a few items to claim. Update on the progress of my Bazaar orders. I have 1.2 million items to claim. I have bought so many potatoes. This is ridiculous. I was buying pork chops for 1,600 coins each, and that was actually a really good investment. Even in just the short term, they have gone up by 200 coins each, or 400 coins if you sell them. Unfortunately, I am going to have to claim all those items and cancel that order so that I can actually buy all 71,680 enchanted pork in one order. So I had purchased 1.2 million enchanted potatoes and a decent amount of pork chops. Unfortunately, the pork chop order didn't fill all the way, which means that I was going to have to cancel that order, put all the pork chops in chests, and rebuy that order until I had 71,680 enchanted pork chops. However, that really wasn't going to be an issue, and I immediately got to work waiting. And I waited and waited some more for Technoblade finally to be elected mayor. And just a couple of days after, Technoblade himself became the resistance leader. Before we reach the climax of this video, I need to tell you something important. According to YouTube statistics, a decent percentage of you guys are actually subscribed. I mean, it's actually a pretty good ratio, but still, if you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. Thanks. A few days later, the map in the lobby was replaced by a message from Dante. Important message from your leader. I am hearing word there's a resistance in the making somewhere in the wilderness. Please remember the benefits of me being your leader. Order, security, freedom. Do not fall victim to false hopes, and do not vote for a resistance leader. Your mayor and friend, Dante. I'm pretty sure Dante is blind because it's pretty obvious where the resistance is taking place. I mean, there's only one major crime organization in Skyblock. I could see the fear in Dante's eyes. He knew exactly who he was dealing with. Of course, their first order of business was giving every single non on the server a good set of armor and a weapon to fight Dante with. Within 2 hours, we would be going into battle, fighting against the dictatorship that ruined Skyblock. And Technoblade is on our side. Let's go! And look at this, Technoblade's even streaming the event. But none of us were prepared for what came next. You see, Dante had an unexpected ally, the lag. And because of this, the fight was, well, interesting to say the least. Bro, this fight looks like a middle schooler trying to give a presentation on a graphing calculator because he forgot his computer. Despite the fact that the fight didn't really go to plan and I just ended up watching Techno's stream, when it was over, I was pretty happy with what I saw. And yes, this was my live reaction, so please forgive me if the audio seemed a little bit off. Wait, we defeated him! Guys, we got him! He just said he was defeated! You also lost resistance. Yeah, I'm sure we did. I'm sure Technoblade would never do anything that he regrets. Is he gonna jump in the void? Please, please, jump in the void. Jump in the void, yes. Yes, yes, yes! Dante! Goodbye, Dante! So, now what? I got, like, 4th place or something. Shiny pig. What? Use a shiny orb from the Techno shop to capture the... Huh? There's a Techno shop? Technoblade. Yes. Shiny orb, right click, pig, bring back. What is this? The Art of War? And she. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I invested in enchanted pork. It was at that moment that I realized I wasn't a complete failure. I had purchased all 71,680 enchanted pork chops for roughly 2,000 coins each, and it was time for me to cash in. Unfortunately for me, the bazaar was still disabled because of Dante because Technoblade had not yet given the thumbs up. But what if I told you that was exactly what I wanted? Allow me to explain using my handy friend, Microsoft Paint. Well, I guess Photoshop, because I don't know how to use Paint. Oh, what the heck? Oh my god, that's terrifying. I just looked up Minecraft Steve on Google so I could get a good picture of a Minecraft character for this example, but that is just... oh boy. So usually what happens in the bazaar is there's an equal amount of demand, represented by this guy, as there is supply, represented by the pork chops. This is why there seems to be kind of a baseline price for everything, because there's an equal amount of supply as there is demand, meaning people can always get the items they want. Now what happens when Jimmy's friend over here wants pork chops as well? Well, standardly what would happen is there would be just as many people willing to buy the pork chops as there are willing to sell, which means that someone else would say, hey, I want to sell some pork chops. So both of these people will have enough pork chops to satisfy their needs and the price doesn't change. Now, occasionally the price gets slightly offset and let's say a third person wants pork chops, but no one else is willing to sell. So in that case, everyone would be willing to pay a little bit more for pork chops and the price would increase by a little bit. But what happens when there's an update? Well, people are going to want pork chops. A lot of people are going to want pork chops. And all the investors who were holding on to their pork chops are going to go ahead and sell their pork chops because the price went up significantly. So now there's more pork chops in the market, which means that the price is actually going to decrease yet again. So let's say it goes back down to 40. So that's a standard update. But what happens when people can't access the bazaar? Well, a lot more people are going to want pork chops. And I mean a lot. And because the bazaar isn't open, no one else can sell pork chops, meaning that the supply is static. So when these guys get access to the bazaar, they instantly buy every single pork chop, meaning there's none left. So now that there's no pork chops on the market, sellers can choose literally whatever price they want it to sell at. And because these people are instant buying the pork chops because they think they'll get a fair price, they end up spending 1,000,000 coins on a single pork chop. And as you can see from this clip, that is exactly what happened to the price of pork chops. In the clip you just saw, I was in fact in the bazaar just a few seconds after the admins had opened it. This means that I had a massive advantage. Despite the fact that it was super unlikely that people would actually spend 20 million coins on pork chops, it would still be worth putting a few pork chops on the bazaar just in case people accidentally bought them without paying attention. But remember what I said earlier in the video? Unfortunately, I am going to have to claim all those items and cancel that order. That's right, all of my pork chops were on my island in a bunch of chests, and because backpacks were disabled, I couldn't store them in my ender chest. I had no choice but to return to my island and grab some pork chops for my chests. The reason this was such a risky move is because Hypixel Skyblock had 120,000 players on at that one time. And you know what happens when you have that many players on a server that isn't meant to handle that many players? Am I going to need to put an epilepsy warning up because the lights are moving too slow? The server was too laggy to use the bazaar, and I had to watch my fortune slip between my fingers. I had been so close to making hundreds upon hundreds of millions, possibly even billions of Skyblock coins. And yet, due to a combination of lag, backpacks being disabled, and me not storing any pork chops in my ender chest, so far at the exact same time. But dedication always pays off, and after 15 minutes of trying, I was finally able to get onto my private island and access the bazaar. And I managed to put up a sell offer of enchanted pork chops for 32,000 coins each. Of course, after I put up that sell offer, the server got too laggy to use the bazaar. But I wasn't ready to accept defeat yet. So I grabbed another inventory full of enchanted pork chops and went to a lobby in hopes that I found one that wasn't lagging too bad to use the bazaar. But when I finally did manage to get to a lobby, I realized that the situation was out of our control. Skyblock was lagging so badly, the servers were so overwhelmed, that Dante literally spawned in my lobby again. And as I'm sure we all know from our experiences at school, you can only push something so far before it finally breaks. Yup, there goes the server. No solo Dante fight for me. Free content. I guess it's just not that easy, is it? Let me in, please. I have so much pork chop to sell. It's gonna crash and I'm not gonna make my money. 15 minutes. That was how long I was locked out of Skyblock. And if you know anything about cryptocurrencies or extremely unstable markets, 15 minutes is an eternity. What I think happened is that Dante spawned in a couple of different lobbies for whatever reason and caused them to crash, and those players who were in those lobbies that crashed weren't able to join Skyblock. I had to sit there in the main lobby as 84,000 others played Skyblock. And what pained me the most is that a lot of them were probably buying and selling enchanted pork chops, making or losing hundreds of millions of coins. And all I could do was sit and watch 30 Virus's stream as I waited for Skyblock to open up for me again. Eventually though, after plenty of trial and error, I did in fact manage to get back onto Skyblock. I was both relieved, but very frustrated. And when I logged back on, the Bazaar was working. Obviously, it was a very good thing that the Bazaar was still working, but for me, it was actually rather unfortunate. You see, while I was isolated from Skyblock for 15 minutes, my suspicions were correct. Players were buying and selling enchanted pork chops, and the price had dropped significantly. Here was about when I got that really lucky order of selling pork chops for 32,000 coins each, and here was when I got back onto Skyblock. Even though pork chops had dropped in price by 75%, yes, you heard that right, 8,000 coins is still 4 times what I paid for each pork chop. And so I sold them. I set up 21 Bazaar offers with roughly an inventory full of pork chops for give or take 8,000 coins each. Obviously, I didn't have enough storage in my Bazaar to sell all 71,680 enchanted pork chop, but honestly, I didn't really care anymore because anything I made at this point was purely profit. Throughout the next couple of days, as the pork price continued to drop, I continued to sell all the pork chops until eventually I had sold each and every single one. Now, for those of you who enjoy math, or you at least enjoy talking about profits and how much money you made, this is the section of the video for you. Please note that by no means is this information accurate, and it's just a rough estimate based on the notes I took. So I sold a lot of my pork at roughly 8,000 coins and a lot of it at roughly 3,000 to 4,000 coins. Now, obviously I didn't keep track of each enchanted pork chop, but based on my notes, each pork chop sold for an average of 5,500 coins. Minus the average 2,000 coins it cost to purchase each enchanted pork chop, we got 3,500 coins of profit for each pork chop, times 71,680 enchanted pork chops is, I definitely am not using a calculator for this. Totally all done in my math, definitely didn't use a calculator, but just about 250 million coins profit. So all in all, buying that 71,680 enchanted pork chops was one of the best decisions I've ever made in this game. But Shibu, what about the 1.9 million enchanted potatoes you purchased at the start of the video? Oh, those, about that. I ended up losing quite a few coins on those. So what happened was rather sad, actually. So I thought potatoes were going to go up in price because Technoblade became mayor, right? But in actuality, he gave everyone a 50% skill XP boost, which only encouraged people to farm more potatoes. And not to mention, those glowing pigs gave out 32 enchanted potatoes 16.67% of the time. If you remember at the start of the video, a lot of slots were being taken up by enchanted potato buy orders, and I needed those slots to sell enchanted pork chops. I already knew I was going to be losing a lot of money on them, so I got a personal compactor, put an enchanted baked potato in it, and compacted all 1.2 million enchanted potatoes into enchanted baked potatoes. The sell price at the time was roughly 38,000 or 37,000 coins per enchanted baked potato, so I took the opportunity while I could, and I sold each enchanted baked potato for 36,000 coins. And I'm very glad I did that, because the enchanted baked potato price went down even lower. And then it went back up, but it was honestly about the same price I sold them for, so I didn't really lose anything. Back to the notepad, I had roughly 1.9 million enchanted potatoes. Yes, that also includes the enchanted baked potatoes. And when divided by 160, you get roughly 11,875 enchanted baked potatoes. I purchased each enchanted baked potato for roughly 280 coins times 160 equals 44,800 coins for each enchanted baked potato. And I sold them for 36,000 coins each, which means that I lost 8,800 coins per potato. So multiply 8,800 coins per enchanted baked potato, so 11,875, and you get 104.5 million coins lost on enchanted baked potatoes. Trust me guys, I'm just as disappointed as you are in myself. But the good news is I made 250 million coins on enchanted pork chops, minus that 100 million coins of enchanted baked potato loss, and we get 150 million coins profit. I don't know why I did that. 150 million coins of profit. And now we're caught up with the present day. Here I am exactly 1 week after all of these events unfolded, and I'm finally making the video about it. Anyways, as you can see, I have 616 million coins in my purse. Pretty decent, right? Well, what if I told you that that wasn't all the coins that I had? For the past week, I've resisted the urge to claim all of these sell offers, so many coins on the table, so much profit, and unfortunately loss. And the best thing is Technoblade is still mayor for about a day, which means that there are no taxes on these orders. Are you guys ready for a satisfying montage? Claim the potatoes, and now we can claim all the pork. Now remember, these are not all of my orders. I did actually have to sell and claim a bunch before this because I don't have infinite Bazaar slots, but I made sure to leave these 3 orders because these orders made a lot of money. This was one of the 8,000 orders I think I just forgot to claim. This one was the first 8,000 order that I made. And finally, this last order. I sold each enchanted pork chop for 33,430.5 coins. And I sold 2,048 of them, meaning that I spent 4,000 coins on these pork chops. And I have 67.8 million coins to claim. That's 63.8 million coins profit from this one order. And with that, I am now at 1.05 billion. Thank you, Technoblade. And that is the story of how Technoblade almost made me 1 billion Skyblock coins. But Shibu, you only made 150 million coins. How is that almost a billion? So if I was able to sell all of my pork chops at 30,000 coins, I would have made 2.15 billion coins. And obviously, I'm not going to make that much from it. So to make sure I don't get sued by someone or something, I'm just going to say I could have made 1 billion coins had Hypixel not been lagging so badly. But that's just a theory. A money theory. Okay, that was pretty bad, actually. I would like to take a moment to just apologize for not uploading as much recently. It's the end of the school year, and you know what that means? It's finals. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Khan Academy, but they basically send you weekly updates just to tell you how much studying you've been doing and what you've been studying. And in the last week, I've studied 25 hours. Anyways, hopefully this video has at least somewhat made up for not uploading as much recently. I'm really excited about this video, actually. It's been a lot of work to put together. I think it was like a month in the making, which isn't that long, but you have to consider how much time I've put into it. I'm certainly disappointed I didn't make 1 billion coins, but I still made more coins than most people have ever seen. So there's that. Plus, I got a pretty decent video out of it. Anyways, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. How have I forgot? Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. I don't know how I've forgotten this. I really need to make more videos. I'm sorry. Bye.